everybody, and welcome to Make a Thing this week. This was a very productive work week for me, but not for Wisteria. I've been trying to close up another project that has been lingering in the background for quite some time. An animated short that I finished all the shots and I finished all the animation on, and it looks pretty great. I'm really, really excited about it. I can't wait for you guys to see it. That's going to be in sound design and audio and music for the next little while. But as soon as I can show it to you, I'm going to show it to you. I'm really, really excited about this one. It turned out great. But Wisteria-wise, the big update is that we have a new episode of Long Live the Queen. And that's our podcast that Wes puts together. And if you haven't listened to Long Live the Queen, you can find it up here on my YouTube as well. But you can get it on actual podcast delivery services. So I suppose you'll find it on Apple and probably Spotify and all sorts of stuff. But check it out there, or watch the YouTube version of it here. What you're going to hear, however, isn't like Make a Thing, because instead of it being about the making of Wisteria or some other sort of developmental thing, it's actually a fictional podcast that takes place in the world of Wisteria, the future world, where Wisteria is a game that everyone plays. And we've been very lucky to have some really great people on to be interviewed, who are legitimate games industry legendary type folks. We've had Mark LeBlanc, and with this episode we have Randy Smith, the lead designer on Thief 3, and I worked with him at Looking Glass on the Thief games. And Randy's an incredible guy, incredibly kind guy, and he has joined us to play the character that he created named Rudy Silva, who is one of the lead designers on Wisteria, which is to say the active designers that sort of monitor the gameplay and create events to have happen. And so it's pretty weird because Randy's a real game guy and he's incredibly smart about it. Like, he's one of the most interesting folks to talk to about game work and just in general, but also about games. And and ditto for Mark. We actually have a second part of Mark's interview coming up later in the year that we'll also be putting out. And Mark plays a character named Rainier Bauza, who is a game designer in the world, in the future world. And we asked them. It's sort of a bizarro process. Like, we asked them to come up with people that, that they would feel comfortable sort of improving an interview with, that maybe, are or are not like them themselves, but are able to talk about things that they would normally talk about in game design interviews and say if you're listening on a podcast. So what you'll get from this is a real interview with a real game professional with real insights that are, to me, insanely fascinating. But it's all sort of also a role-playing game. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Wisteria started years ago as a role-playing game, that a homebrew role-playing game that me and Gareth and Wes ran. Gareth and Wes were playing, and I was running it. And we liked it so much that it's developed into what you've been listening to here. And that has formed the artistic basis for how we want to move forward with the show and all the aspects of the story and how we want to work with people and all this kind of stuff. And it's a very collaborative process to work with us if you're coming in to be on the show or to develop any new thing that we haven't yet done. Like this is how it works. And these guys, I mean, when you get game designers, these are creative folks, and they went hardcore on asking questions, building backstory, and making everything sort of work for their backgrounds. And so the interview comes off, at least to me, stone cold realistic. It's one of the most exciting things that we've done for the project. And I'm incredibly grateful to Mark and Randy, and I hope that you guys enjoy this thing. I know that it's super weird in that we don't give you a lot of lead in here, and a lot of it's unexplained. And we thank you for your patience in that. I know it's sort of slowly coming into focus, but I think if you sort of grab onto that, it's really entertaining in that way, because it starts to build out in my mind as I'm listening to it. And when we were recording it, it was incredible fun, because we did a lot of back and forth email wise to build out what the what the environment was for Randy and for Mark, and answer their questions. And as they threw out ideas about their character and how it worked and all this stuff. But I was not just speaking for myself. I wrote questions that I wanted Wes to ask them, and Wes wrote questions, and Gareth wrote questions that we all wanted to lob at Randy. But the only one who talked to him is Wes in character. And so, though I was there for the recording, my video was off and my microphone was off, and I just had to listen to it happen. And I was so excited when it was done. I couldn't stop talking about it. I was just blown away. So Randy did a killer job. Mark, if you've already listened to it, has done a killer job. There's more stuff on the way. And I think it's a really fascinating way not only to tell the story of Wisteria and build out the world that the story takes place in, but also, if you're into game design, or just into cool shit, these guys are geniuses, and hidden and folded into the fiction that we've created with them is real stuff, is real interesting stuff. So please check that out. It is Long Live the Queen. It is on its own playlist on this channel, and I think you guys will really enjoy it, and let the seed of Wisteria take root in your mind as the recording plays out. Other than that, we met today for a whole bunch of stuff, just sort of getting stuff organized. I had a lovely conversation with one of the actors, went for a couple hours this week. Really wonderful fellow, very committed, very interesting. Loves movies, talked a lot about movies. And I talked with the guys today about all the various avenues that we might use to get the story across. As one of the difficult things to do when you're putting together any of the stuff is trying to get everyone's schedules lined up, so there's that magic moire window where it all lines up and everyone's free, and we can do what we need to do. That can be tough to come by. So how do you tell the story anyway? And so we just sort of there's no decisions about this, but whether we tell certain aspects of this in other animated styles, or sort of break it up in all sorts of weird ways. These things came up, and we'll detail that out. I mean, if that's what we end up doing, we'll tell you about it as it goes, but we're going to keep on pressing forward, either voice recording, shooting, whatever happens, and we'll lay it out for you here. But it's been a great week. I hope you get a kick out of the Long Live the Queen podcast. I was super, super excited about it. Wes absolutely destroys in this thing. He's tremendous. And leave us your thoughts in the comments. And also, please really do ask us questions. How does all this work? What does this mean? Who are these people? All that stuff. I am more than happy to be very chatty in the comments below. If anyone wants clarification, or just has questions about Wisteria, how it works, what it is, all that kind of stuff. I'm totally psyched to just prattle on about it. It's like midnight 30 right now. Actually, oh geez, it's almost 1. And I'm still this excited. I should be sleeping and I'm this excited. So anyway, I hope everyone's had a great week making their own things. Sooner, hopefully rather than later, you will see the other secret project that I've been working on, which I'm very, very proud of. And it's nice to see, as Wes said, closing loops is a great thing. He said to me, it's just like, if you're feeling like, things are a little out of hand in terms of the scheduling and all that stuff, like it's good to close loops. And to close this loop, this little project has been going on for a few years, actually, trying to get this thing together. So as soon as I can tell you about it, I'm going to tell you about it. It's very, very fun. And that's my whole story. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. It's late. But be creative, be excited, be happy, and make more things. And we'll see you next week for more Make a Thing.